Don't hurt it. It's a teddy bear. Don't hurt him. He's a teddy bear. You be gentle. You be gentle. You be gentle. Okay? Go get it. Good girl. Good girl. Here, let me see. Yeah, we don't play tug of war. No, we don't. That's a good way to get nipped by a dog. This one's trained. She'll play with the kids. They can take things out of her mouth. Doesn't bother her a bit. As soon as she don't jump up when you go to scratch the dog, when you're playing with them, bend your back. If you put there, slap your leg, and they jump up, well, then they want to jump up on little kids and stuff like that. So, you know, unless you got a great big dog that's tall enough, you don't have to bend over to scratch. But bring that teddy bear here. Are you going to kill it? You going to kill it? Are you going to kill it? Huh? Hey there. Choke him. Choke him. Yeah, choke him off. Good girl. Yeah, wants to lay that way really good, so that's the way we'll let it. Oh, just takes a couple of, you know, little logs there, make a little ramp up onto your deck so you can just roll them by hand. You can roll a pretty big log by hand, no effort to it at all. So get it up on the log deck like that, and we'll get our log stops pulled up here. Oh. And the way I tighten that one, and I'll put you guys in the sawdust here, but you'll see. Slide it up, tighten it up, and hold it in place. And then if there's much taper, so there's a little taper in this log, not lots, but there's a bit. I have different thicknesses of plywood. That's why I keep this small end toward the mill, because you can only get what you can get out of the small end. You can't get any more than that. So if I want to just shave this, I can make the first cut and make a slab. By lifting this, it'll make a fairly straight slab. So just lift that up. You can push that plywood underneath there. Yeah, right there. That's it. Perfect. So we're going to just peg it into place. And then by putting that little piece of plywood in there, it just splits the difference in the height from this end to that end. So we're going to get a nice cut. So then when we turn it over, we have a nice flat side. And then if that slab is a little thinner at this end and a little thicker at that end, at least we're taking whatever we can without wasting. So we'll see how nice a slab we can take off of there. The measurements here won't work out right for all 1 inch. So we're going to take slab off. Then we're going to take 1.5 inch off and make a 2x6. And then the rest should all be 1 inch all the way down the scale. Oh, a little bark in the middle, but we can stand it up and we'll take the edges off it, and we'll make a 2x6. We'll just put it there for now. See, with putting that spacer in to take the first cut, and then you turn it over and it did the same thing. Then when you're done, you have a slab that's very close to the same thickness all the way down, and it's garbage. But I've got very little rainage on here, so you know I can take that down and lay that flat now, and we will see. It should give me, I think that's 5 inches. So you measure 5 inches with a good square edge here. So we'll see go. That's a 5 1/4, just under a quarter. So just under 5 1/4. So we have to allow for 4 blade cuts. They're all pretty much 1/16 of an inch. That just makes up for, when you're looking at the scale here. That is some nice 1x8. I'll get 3 more out of that. So looking at this, when you're pushing, if you push it a little too fast, it starts to leave little swirls. Then if you hit a knot, it can lift. This one never. Blade is still pretty good, but this here is a sign that, you know, it's halfway. You start leaving those edges, starting to get a little dull. You're pushing it a little too fast, but so far, so good. Should be able to get a couple more logs out of it. Again, getting down to the last time you're going to pin it. Going to make sure that that's at the bottom. Make sure that sawdust is all off of your bunk. Yeah, these little furls like that, they dry up and they just break off really easy. Once your lumber dries a little bit, don't hurt anything. You'll just get that one down there. I have marks. I made 1-inch marks. So we knew we were on 3. So we just drop below and then come back up to 2. And we're ready for the next one, and then we're going to do the same with this one up to 1. And we should be left with 1 at the end. See how much water I use. 1 drop at a time when you hit the throttle, and then it just rips along, so it doesn't take much water. A gallon lasts a long time. Yeah, it looks pretty good. There's $15 a board. Now everyone has different opinions. That one that I took off, you can call it a wing edge board, or you can call it a second cut, or whatever you want to call it. Had a little bark on it. Some people say, well, just take a little thicker slab and then quit wasting time. You know, it's quicker to do it this way. But you know, this here 2x6, it's perfect on the ends most of the way down. One little spot where it's bark, and it's good again. So, you know, for building sheds, chicken coops, whatever you want to build, that's a good strength of a board. The outside of the tree, it's good strength there. Perfect board. Why throw it away? Now, over here, you know, I don't have a tractor, and I don't have a need for a tractor. If you're going to have an expensive little tractor, you need to be using it all the time, and I can afford that expense. So just setting up. I have a couple of steel beams, but if you have a couple of logs, you know, small end at the bottom, big end toward your mill, you can just start rolling, cut the knots off so there's no lumps and bumps, and you know, 3-year-old 4-year-old could probably push that log up there by themselves. There's hardly anything, you know, just, now this one's got a little saw cut in the end. So I'm going to lay that side down. Kind of a gouge out of it, yeah. Now we'll put that side up and we'll cut it off first. That's what we'll do. We'll get our log stock up there fairly high. Yeah, that's too bad. Well, that gouge is kind of just what's going to come off is slab, so it'll be all right. I don't have to worry about lifting this end because we know that little gouge is out of the other end anyway, so we're going to just take it off that way. Notch out of the end there. This one turned out nice and flat on this side. We got bark all the way on that side. So I want to just square it down to we'll make more or less a 1x6 out of it instead of a 1x8. So we'll just pin it like that and we'll buzz it off at the bark. Here, you start a pile, and then if you go way back to last fall in my reviews, I got a cordless saw. I just bucked them into kindling. But now this here makes a really nice, only a tiny little bit of bark right there, and the rest of it is a really nice 1x6. Log. That blade sits right on the log, right on number 6. 4.5, and back up to 5. Give us a winner. And we get it up there to number 4. There's another $75 worth of lumber. Pretty nice, straight. Now I might cut another log yet, maybe two with the blade. Not really getting dull yet. You can tell how fast you push it. If you push it a wee bit too hard, you can tell. Like I said, we got a little bit of fuzzies on the edge, but that stuff just comes off real easy. No big deal. As you're getting a little bit duller, just slow down. Don't push quite so hard. Still makes a nice cut and it don't make it wavy. We got a couple off each second cut. And then we got 5 nice. Oh, it's still cutting straight. It usually don't, you know, hump unless you're really dull, or if you hit a great big knot. If you hit a big knot and you're starting to get dull, then it'll climb. But yeah, I'm pushing it yet pretty good, and it's cutting not bad. Not bad.